everyone, it is Brent Webb. Welcome to another episode of Mind Power Secrets. You know, we have the most amazing supercomputer ever invented. We're all walking around with this thing, but we never get the manual. They never tell us how it operates. And really, most of the problems in our lives come from our mind. They deal with our mindset. So today we're going to do something. I haven't done one of these in a while, but we're going to do Ask the Expert. We're going to bring an expert in. We're going to try to do this every few weeks or so you guys can get some amazing teaching, some amazing knowledge from these really experienced teachers. Okay, so we're going to do that today. That's going to be our main thrust. And I want you to remember 2022. This is your year of breakthroughs. 2022. Don't wait anymore. Make this the time you take control of your life. So I am going to bring in my guest first, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. This lady is amazing, and I'm really intrigued by what she's going to talk about, and I know you guys are going to enjoy it. So first, let's bring her in. Here is the amazing Ann Guindi. Yay!
Hi, Brent. Great to be here. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I am excited too. Ann and I have been talking offline a couple of times because I'm really intrigued about what you do. But let me give the watchers, the listeners there some background. Now, Ann is a nurse by background. She's worked in the National Health Service for 40 years in the United Kingdom. Now, Ann is a qualified psychologist, counselor, and coach. We all need that, right? She's trained with the Coaching Academy in the UK. Now, Ann is a trained sleep consultant. That's what we're going to talk about today. She's a speaker, and she's the author of How to Be Your Own Health Visitor. So once again, here is Ann Guindi.
Thanks for that brilliant introduction, Brent. I am super, super stoked to be here. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Ann, I'm intrigued. So let's talk a little bit about how you got in this area. So how is it that you got involved in this area of work?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a mother to 4 children. And when I had my first son, many years ago now, because they're all adults, but I was a super soft parent. I don't know about you guys that are watching, but I used to think that if I gave in to my son and feed him whenever he wanted it, that I was being a good parent. So I got into really bad habits with just breastfeeding him on demand throughout the night whenever he wanted it. And that wasn't a problem when I wasn't at work. It was fine. I could sleep and he slept, right? But then I had to go back to work. I had taken a year off, and I was actually pregnant with my second son when he was 10 months old. Please don't judge me, but it happens. And I thought, oh my God, how am I going to be able to cope with this sleep deprivation? And you're already tired, aren't you, when you're pregnant? Well, the women don't know this, but you men might know as well from your partners complaining in the early days that it is super tiring. So I thought, I'm going to have to do something about this. I had already been a sleep consultant in the NHS, and I was getting great results with other parents. And I thought, okay, I've got to take my own medicine. So I bit the bullet and decided that I was going to do controlled crying with my son. And it was hard, I tell you, because my parenting style, as I said, was very soft. But I needed to do it for my sanity. So the first night he woke up 20 times. It was like torture. But I kept going. And then the second night, it was 7 times he woke up. Third night, 3 times. And I cracked it on the 4th night. So that's why I got into it, from personal pain, really. And then I just thought, well, I've been doing this as a health visitor for 15 years, and I want to help other parents just like me, really. So those of you guys that are in the US, you probably don't know what a health visitor is, But in the UK, we're very lucky. We have specialist nurses that go out into the community, into parents' homes, and work with parents and families, advising, guiding, and supporting them for the first 5 years. And I absolutely loved my job. It was a real privilege to go into homes. So that's what kind of led me into it, Brent, and totally love it.
You're like Mary Poppins. You come in their home, you fix all their lives, and then you fly away.
I am a bit like Mary Poppins.
You sound like her, for sure.
Yeah, I've got the magic touch.
Tell us a little bit about your approach. How is it? Because trust me, I don't have kids of my own. I mean, my career is taking me, I'm on the road all the time, but I am close with a lot of my family members that have kids, and I know how hard it is sometimes to get kids to sleep. So what is it you're doing? Is there a secret to get the child to sleep?
There sure is a secret to it. Now, I am a qualified sleep consultant, as you mentioned, and I trained, many years ago now. But I have a unique 3D approach. So I use all my knowledge, skills, and experience, both as a nurse, a psychologist, a coach, and I bring that all together. So my 3D approach is that I use parenting style. So no one person is the same, right? We're all different, and so are our children. So the first thing I do is I look at your parenting style, and there's 4 types of parenting style, really. And some of you will know this stuff already, but basically, if you're an authoritarian parent, you're going to kind of run your home like a military operation, and there'll be lots of rules and regulations, and there will be probably a lot of fear in your parenting for your children. When you would say jump, your child would say how high. Now that's the authoritative type of approach. The authoritarian rather. Now the next approach is an authoritative approach. Now this is slightly different, and they're kind of on a continuum from the most harsh kind of parenting style to the least harsh, and we're kind of all on a spectrum. So the authoritative parent will still have rules and regulations, but there will be some conversation with the child. Now you might be saying, well, a child, a baby or a toddler can't speak, but they can communicate, and they communicate through crying, of course. And that's why I was a bit of a softie. I gave in all the time because I'm listening to the voice of the child. So you're kind of working in partnership and in harmony with your child. Now, the next type of parenting is a dismissive type of parent, or a bit laissez-faire. So these kind of parents don't really care, what's going on with their kids. They don't care what time they get up or what time they go to bed or what they eat. They kind of just do what they want to do. And the last type of parenting, which I'm sure none of you guys are neglectful parents, which leads to, unfortunately, abuse and neglect. I've worked in safeguarding for the last 10 years as a nurse in the NHS, but I digress a little bit. Let's go back. So parenting style is one of my 3D approach. My second approach is personality. Now, I love personality. I find people so fascinating. And I'm qualified in both Myers-Briggs type indicator and in DISC profiling. Now, I don't know if any of you guys know about DISC profiling, but I absolutely love it.
Explain that a little bit for people watching.
Okay, so DISC profiling is really 4 different types of people. And if you're a D-type personality, you're going to be very driven, very demanding. So you kind of... Is that you, Brent? You're guilty of that? Okay. So these are people that just want to get stuff done. They want the end result, okay? So the I type of person is more intuitive, they're imaginative, And the S type of person is very sincere, steadfast. And then the C type of person is committed, conscientious, and careful. So when I work with parents, I do both the parents' personality, because often what happens is the two personalities are very different. And that's where things fall apart, really, because if you've got someone who's a very high D, they're going to want to stick to the plan, whereas the S type of personality might say, oh, but they're crying and they need love and they want to be picked up, and the D will be saying, leave them to cry, it's going to be okay. So you've got all this kind of conflict going on. So I work with that. And then the last thing I work with in my 3D approach is the child's temperament, because there are 9 different types of temperament in a baby. And for example, one is adaptability. So if we've got a baby who's very adaptable, we normally get quite good results with them because they're very good at adapting to change. But if you've got a baby who's high in persistence, they're not going to give up without a fight. So we have to work a little bit harder with those type of children. So that's my 3D approach. But then I have a 6C methodology. So my 6C methodology really is calm, clear communication. And this is really crucial. So some parents will go into the baby when they wake up, or the toddler, or even the preschooler, and they'll say, oh, darling, what's the matter? You're upset. Let's have a cuddle. Now, what you're telling your baby then is it's okay to wake up, and you're rewarding the undesired behavior. So, of course, your baby is just going to keep that up. They think this is fantastic. So I teach parents how to change their tonality so your child knows that you mean business. So the 4th and 5th C is continuity and consistency.
Consistency.
So
consistency is important.
That is the name of the game. So when parents come to me, I'll say to them, what have you tried before? And they say, oh, I've tried crying it out, but I couldn't bear to hear my child cry. And they've probably done that, maybe for 2 nights. And then they'll say, oh, we tried gradual retreat, but that didn't work. Or we tried control crying, and that didn't work. And they rattle off all of these things, but often they've only tried them, for 2 or 3 nights and then just given up, really. There's no continuity, no consistency. So they're never going to get the end result, right? And the last thing, and probably the most important thing, is commitment. So with anything in life, and you know this well, Brent, it's 95% mindset and 5% strategy.
Based my whole life on that. That's absolutely true.
So true. So when I work with parents, I say, on a scale of 1 to 10, how committed are you to solving this problem? And unless I get a 10, I'm just not going to work with these parents, because, it's my reputation, right? And if they're not willing to put in the work, then we're not just going to work together, because, So that's my approach, really. And I'm the only sleep consultant out there who is doing this unique 3D methodology and this 6C approach.
I love it. Now, Ann, do you have a recent example of a success story that you've worked with?
Yeah, I have many examples of success stories. So recently I was working with Emma and Toby, and they're both professional people, and they had returned back to work, and they were both absolutely physically and emotionally exhausted. They had Mila, who was 14 months, and she was waking up many times at night, and they were doing the classic thing of rewarding the undesired behavior. And within 4 weeks, we actually turned that around, and she is now sleeping through the night, and they have got their life back. They are just so happy. Now, Mila was a dream to work with, I have to say, and her parents, because Mila was very high in adaptability. So she actually took to my bespoke program very, very well. And I always do this with my parents. It's not a done to process, it's a done with process. And that's really important for success. And then I was working with another couple, Mark and Chiri, and they had Edward, who was a bit older. He was 18 months, and he was waking up so many times at night, and they were exhausted as well. Now, he was a bit trickier because he was high in persistence. So he wasn't going to give up without a fight. So we had to change the approach. So they wanted gentle approach to their parenting, to their sleep plan, but it wasn't going to work with Edward. So sometimes we have to adapt the plan and work with the temperament of the baby or the toddler. And that's what we had to do in Edward's case. So it took a little bit longer to crack Edward. We were working together for 2 months. But I keep working with parents until we get a successful outcome.
I love that. And anybody who's watched any of these videos I've done in the last few years knows that I only have people on that I believe in, that I trust, I'm not on here with people every week hawking some products. So these are products I believe in. Mindset is my whole life. So everything is the power of belief in your mind. You can control so much. So I told Ann I would bring her on today, but she told me that she's going to come up with a way to empower parents here in the group for their kids to get the sleep that they deserve. So Ann, tell us what you're going to offer here today.
So I have a free sleep masterclass that I am offering out to anyone in your group. So if you want to get your child to sleep, and if you want to gain back control of your life, you definitely need to step onto this free masterclass. You have absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. And for those of you that are like, I want it now, then you can just book a call with me. And again, it's a free clarity call where we just get to know one another and we just map out a solution to move you forward. Sleep deprivation is a form of torture, really. They use it in the military and it's very effective. And it will really wear you down physically, emotionally. And, I'm not going to go into the short, long-term, medium-term effects because I'm not about, scaremongering people. I'm about trying to get the transformation that you need and deserve. So please do join me on my masterclass. It's next Thursday, the 14th at 12 midday, British summertime. Brent is going to pop that link in the chat and the link for the clarity call if you just want to skip the masterclass and straight to business. That's fine too. I have opened up my calendar for the next few days, and I would be really happy to serve you.
It was so amazing talking to you. Now, for everyone, I will put all the links down below, just like Ann said, in the comments. Ann is world acclaimed. This is her expertise. And if you're a parent that has problem with your kids going to sleep and you're at the end of your rope, middle of your rope, you're anywhere, you've got to do this. It's fantastic. It's a free masterclass. Ann's going to transfer her knowledge to you and you're going to be able to help your kids. There's nothing better than that. So let's thank Ann for joining us. Ann, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. It's been my absolute pleasure.
All right, guys, we're going to say goodbye to Ann. Thanks, Ann.
Bye, everyone.
And really, you guys should try to make this masterclass. Ann is an amazing teacher. she knows her stuff, and she has a great way of being able to pass on the knowledge. You know, a lot of people, when they talk, you're not picking up anything. Ann has a great way of making sure you understand. So I'll drop everything down below. Jump into that masterclass. You definitely want to be there. Now, remember, the first 8 years of our lives, our subconscious mind is in record mode because we're pretty much programmed. The people that we are today, we were programmed during the first 8-9 years of our lives by our parents, by coaches, by teachers, by the government, the media, society at large. They have changed us. When we come out in the beginning, we're blank slates. The world is amazing. We can do anything. Every day we go out and play these games and we become firemen and kings and all sorts of things. But that starts to get pushed out of you when you move into school, and they start making you conform with everyone else. So right now, if you're having trouble in your life, it's got to do with your mindset. And it means that anytime you're on autopilot, you're slipping away from the now and into the past or into the fear of the future. And you can take care of that. If you'd like some more information, go to my website. It is brentwebb.com. And I want to remind you too, we have our YouTube channel. There are over 300 videos. I can almost promise you there's a video for everything. Now, there's not a video there for getting your kids to sleep, but we'll probably do that soon. But there's a video for everything else. Meditations to growth mindset, anything you possibly want that has to do with empowering yourself. So be sure to go and subscribe. It's youtube.com/BrentWebb official. And finally, our Facebook community. It is a fantastic group of like-minded people banded together and empowering themselves and each other to make fantastic transformation in their lives. This group is jumping each and every day. We have about 9,000 members, and a lot of them are in there every day. Fantastic knowledge, all sorts of posts, video trainings, free reports, all of that. So go to facebook.com/groups/students of self-empowerment. There's a lot of slashing going on. And finally, my gift to you, we have about a week left. If you'd like one, I'm giving away free copies of my book. It's 5 Steps to the Perfect Mindset. You need it. You need this, and you don't even know it. You discover the one power that will shift you beyond all limitations. And finally, you'll make it in life where you want. You'll have abundance, happiness, health, and success. All the things you've dreamed about are within your reach. So don't wait. Go to successsecrets.net now and grab your copy. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I want to thank Ann. It was a pleasure having you with me. I will see you all again very, very soon. And remember, don't worry, be happy and feel good. I'll see you soon.